Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special preview here for All Star Grand Queendom 2025, the show that is this Sunday and on paper is looking to be the biggest Stardom show ever. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in for this extra early preview because this will be in full on the Five Star Joshi Show as well. You may be listening to it already on the podcast. But if you're over on YouTube, I appreciate you for joining me here today because, like I said, we are talking this show in full because I am your host, Scott Edwards. I wanted to get this preview out a day early. Listen, a day is still a lot because I have so many thoughts. We're recording this before the Cork and Hall show. I'll have some added thoughts on this week's podcast in case anything really jumps to mind. So that will be part of that as well. Look forward to that on Friday. But this is going up a day early exclusively on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Scott E Wrestling. If you want to watch the video version, it is in a separate video if you're on the podcast version currently. Thank you so much for everyone joining me. We've made it. We have made it. The biggest show of the year in Joshi is this weekend. All Star Grand Queendom 2025 promises to be one of the biggest and best shows of the year and possibly of all time. The card is stacked from top to bottom with some potential match of the year candidates, some dark horse matches, a potential tag team match of the year, and so much more. For many people, this past week has been the biggest week for them because it was WrestleMania week and all that. For someone like myself and other Joshi content creators, this is the biggest week. This is the one we lock in, we take care of it, and we do all we can. I've already done a preview with True Heel Heat, my boy SP3. Thank you for having me there. You can go check that out. I'll be doing plenty of reviews, which brings up the point that Sunday, this Sunday, I will be doing a review, live review for Stardom All Star Grand Queendom at 2 p.m. Eastern over on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. Yes, there it is. Make sure to head over there. Make sure to set a reminder. I'll be tweeting that. I'll be posting it on Blue Sky. I'll be posting it everywhere so that you make sure to set a reminder because I love doing these live reviews after the big shows. And I think we're going to have plenty to talk about that day. Now, today we are here to preview that very show. That is what I am super excited to do with all of you. So thank you if you are joining me, whether it be on YouTube now or the podcast later. It means the world to me. So let's get to it, shall we? Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom at Yokohama Arena. It is going to be a packed building. I fully expect the biggest crowd in the company's history for this show because, of course, you load up a card, you put two people's careers on the line, the two most popular wrestlers in the company. You're going to have a crowd. You're going to have one hell of a crowd. And I can't wait to see what it officially brings to the table. But let's get to the show now, shall we? Starting with the Stardom Rumble. The Stardom Rumble will be for a championship opportunity at any Stardom title. I think that's very important for obvious reasons. It creates a buzz, I think. It creates an excitement level that should be followed in terms of this is an opportunity to really take a step here with someone to maybe create a story post Stardom Grand Queendom that maybe, just maybe, you might not have thought of going into this show. And that, of course, brings me to the one and only Momo Watanabe. 1 year ago, she was main eventing this show against Micah for the World of Stardom Championship in the 3 stages of Hell match. We move a year later, and she is on the pre-show, away from any singles match. So why not make it worthwhile, right? Why not see her accomplish something big and create interest by winning yet another title shot this year? Obviously, she won the Wrestle Dynasty Cup earlier this year and used that opportunity to face Mercedes Moné. With this being for only a Stardom Championship, you have a real chance to instantly, instantly create some magic that I think is very important between Saya Kamitani and Momo Watanabe sometime this year. It's why I'm going with Momo Watanabe to win this match, because I do think that utilizing this tournament, or sorry, this Rumble to actually further yourself down the line is a smart choice by all accounts, especially for Stardom. So that is my mindset going into this match. Other contenders, if you're listening to this and maybe you're new to Stardom, other contenders for this could be such as Saki Kashima, Natsuko Tora, Sayaka Karara, who is, of course, the Cinderella winner, Miyu Amasaki, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of solid names that will be in this Rumble and create opportunities. So we'll have to wait and see what it looks like, but keep an eye out on that. But let's get to the main card now, shall we? The main card starts here. The main card is Hina versus Rana Yagami for the Future of Stardom Championship. I don't know how good this match will be in terms of you're looking at this card and you're expecting something dynamic. You're expecting something incredible, right? You're expecting some of the best wrestling you see all year long. And I think that's very, very important because I expect the same thing because this card is stacked. But sometimes I think it's really great to have a match like this because having a match like this can set the tone for the rest of the card. You could set the tone. They did it once upon a time when Ruaka and Hanan faced each other. I'll never forget it. When Ruaka and Hanan faced each other at the first Stardom Dream Queendom, it set the tone for the rest of that show. They faced off for the Future Stardom Championship. Hanan got her moment. I think Hina and Rana can do a very good job at that. I think if you put them into the middle of the card, it can hurt their match. If if you're having them follow the likes of a Suzuki versus Mera, it can hurt the match. But if you allow them to open the show, they can get to the show off to a solid start with an 8 to 10 minute match and really have their own match. They don't have to try to follow something. And I think that's probably the best avenue for the two God's Eye members. And that's the fascinating part about this match. This is a stable versus the same stable versus the same stable. This is God's Eye all around. Hina, Rana Yagami, one on one. Rana Yagami is someone that it's very clear Stardom believes in. They have put her in multiple terms. Obviously, she had to fill in for Ami Sourei last year in the 5 Star Grand Prix, but before that, she was in the Catch the Wave tournament for Pro Wrestling Wave. She enters the 5 Star Grand Prix, has a solid enough showing, I'd say. Now she's re-entering the Catch the Wave tournament. They're putting her in these tournaments to grow, to develop quickly. And I think that's the exciting aspect for her moving forward. That being said, we are watching in real time Hina blossom. Listen, so many people talk about, oh, well, she's not Reena, she's not Hanan. She doesn't have to be, right? She doesn't have to be either of them. It's unfair to even make that comparison because of what those two have done with this exact championship. Hina is a different wrestler from the both of them. And I think it's going to do her a lot of good to hold this title one longer, obviously, because she only has one successful defense against Tabata. But I think it's going to do her a lot of good because by the end, perhaps maybe we are walking away saying, you know what, she can be that main event talent that both Reena and Hanan look to be. So I'm excited for this match. I think it should definitely open the show. I think it would be smart to open the show because you don't want them to get lost in the shuffle. And I think that's very important for these two. So I'd have them open for sure. And I think Hina definitely takes home the win. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these two are able to do to get things going. Next up, you have Yumika Hoda versus Reena one-on-one. Reena wants to get rid of any mention of AJW. No more All Japan woman. She's done, finished. And it's understandable because Reena is the present and the future. She wants the world to know enough of that. It's about me now. Reena has had a breakout year over the past 365 days. If you look at All Star Grand Queendom last year and now you look at it this year, It has been a incredible, incredible run for her. Obviously, future Stardom champion, New Blood Tag Team champion. And while she's lost both of them, she then proceeded to go on to the Wonder of Stardom Championship, facing Starlight Kid and having what is still, to this date, my match of the year. That was incredible, right? You also add the fact that she went to the finals of the Cinderella tournament. And while she came up short against Sayaka Carrara, it's apparent that Reena's year is 2025. There's a reason Stardom went out of their way to just, instead of toss Reena into a tag or a Stardom Rumble, she has been tossed into a singles match with a legend like Yumika Hoda. In a perfect world, Reena's getting this win. This is probably not going to be the perfect world. If Reena were to beat Hoda, that would be incredible. I don't expect that because of how these things go. It's just the truth. But I do expect this year to be the year of Reena, and a loss won't hurt her as long as she is gaining momentum by the end of the summer. I think she's going to have an incredible debut 5-star Grand Prix this year. I also think that the Wonder of Stardom Championship very well should be hers at the end of the year. So I can't wait for this match. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a real shocker, maybe to some. It won't go long, but I'm excited to see what Reena brings to the table against a legend like Hoda. Next up, we have Mera versus Suzuki. This match is indeed a special singles match, not only just in name, but in true form. You look at this match, you see Mera, you see Suzuki. How can you be anything but excited? I see these two wrestlers and I know what they're capable of. This is their first ever matchup one on one. They've never faced each other before. The former Meiho Suzuki versus the former Ice Cross Infinity champion Suzuki. They never crossed paths until, of course, they met in Golden Week 2023. And from there, they became Crazy Star on accident, right? They were the two newbies in the company. Neither of them joined a faction. Suzu could have joined DDM, but that didn't make sense. And Mera could have joined any faction. Stars always felt right, but she didn't join a faction. Instead, they stayed paired together just by default. And naturally, they became one of the best tag teams in the world, like I said, as Crazy Star. They were teaming with Megan Bayne. They were forming all these fun teams. They were always the ones that teamed up with someone else, but they were always paired together on house shows. And it brought them closer together. It made them friends. It made them a story to follow. And when Neo Genesis formed, that was the beginning of the end for Crazy Star. And as we saw at the beginning of this year, every member of Neo Genesis having a championship against Suzu, except for Suzuki. Failure for the World of Stardom Championship, failure for the Goddesses of Stardom Championship. And that failure was the beginning of the tipping point. Suzuki's frustrations continued to add up. There were miscues each and every match they had, and eventually Suzuki made her turn. At Korakuen Hall earlier this month, she snapped, bashing Mera in the skull with a chair and fully breaking away from Neo Genesis and Crazy Star. It has led us to this match. There is a reason that the high speed champion is not defending the high speed belt. There is no reason for championship gold in this match. There is no reason for high speed in this match. This should be a fight. This should be personal because it is personal. It's Mera, it's Suzuki. It's two of the very best going head to head in a match that I'm so happy they added to this card. Now, I will say this. There is part of me remembering All-Star Grand Queen of 2023. Could there be a non-finish type match or a DQ of some sort? If that's going to happen on this show, this is the match to do it, to send a message. But if they do it in a right way where they're sending a message, I think it can be very successful. This should be the official recrowning of Suzuki, the Suzuki of Chaos. I'm recording this again with the knowledge that the Cork and Hall show is airing within hours, and there's a good chance she has formed some sort of group with her mystery partners. We'll wait and see. I'll talk more about that on Friday on the podcast. But what I do know is that this match is important. This match is exciting, and this is a match that I cannot wait for. If they're given the proper time, they can have as good a match as anyone. I'm very excited to see it. Listen, Suzuki made May Sarah cry. That made me very upset. So May Sarah's going to look for that redemption. We'll see how deep she's willing to go into that realm that Suzuki is going to go into. And we'll see what the match looks like. But like I said, very excited for this match. I do think Suzu should be walking away either victorious or standing tall because it's time to establish her. And this is going to be very important in doing just that. Next up, we have the final match of Meiko Satomura's Stardom run. So, Meiko Satomura, for those who don't know, was a former World of Stardom champion. She won the title from Kairi Hojo. She defended against Mayu Iwatani and lost the belt to Io Shirai in a very important title reign at the time. She was on and off within Stardom until 2018, and that was the last time she had a match there. She, of course, would go on to WWE. That's a big reason why. And this is 2 days before her retirement match, which I will have some sort of coverage for next week as well. Likely on this YouTube, but also maybe in a special podcast. We will have to wait and see there. That being said, this is going to be the second to final match of Meiko Satomura's career. And it's an exciting tag. Listen, I was afraid of undercard matches on the show, admittedly, but this is it. This is the only one. And it's pretty special. Aya Sakura, Seriano, Natsupoi, Yuna, Meiko Satomura, and Mika Wada. That sounds great to me. I think the Cosmic Angels win here. I don't think that's really much of a question. Yuna doesn't really win, so easy to pin her. But it's just awesome to see Mako on the show get that farewell from Stardom, something that was a chapter in her career. And because of that, I believe that the Cosmic Angels will win this and send the Sendai Girls home winless from this match, I do believe that the other Sendai Girls involved match will see them get their success. And that, of course, is Chihiro Hashimoto versus Micah. This match has been brewing since January. Team 200 kilograms lost to Hi Mate at New Year Dream. And since then, Micah versus Hashimoto possible. It felt believable. It felt like it made sense. And they've built it. They've done house shows and Sendai Girls building to this match. And once Chihiro Hashimoto won the Sendai Girls World Championship from Meiko Satomura at the top of Joshi Wrestling, it kind of became clear this is the direction to go. Hashimoto made it clear she wanted to defend the championship against Micah. And Micah laid down the official challenge just a bit later. I'm not sure if this can be the match of the night, but it's going to give it one hell of a run because Chihiro Hashimoto is one of the best wrestlers on planet Earth. This is someone who has consistently put together some of the best performances of the year against various opponents. She was in two of my favorite matches of the year last year. The tag team match, Syuri and Mayu Iwatani versus Hashimoto and Veni, which was my match of the year. And of course, the Syuri match, the Syuri singles from Syuriism in January of last year. Hashimoto and Micah is going to be a hoss fight. This is going to be two powerful women destroying one another. It's going to be lariats. It's going to be suplexes. It's going to be personal. There could be some real back, we have a judoka and we have a true wrestler here. in Chihiro Hashimoto. There's going to be some real exciting combat in this match as well. But this is, like I said, if you are a new fan, if you're an old fan, and if you've never seen Chihiro Hashimoto because you're Stardom only and she's only had the one match, you're in for a treat. I tell you to go back to watch the Stardom matches that she had with both Mirai and Syuri in 2023. Both of them are fantastic, and this should be right there as well. I truly believe that this match has all the makings to be special. I expect them to get 15 minutes or so, and we'll see what the finish is. The finish is going to be the most fascinating part of this because Chihiro Hashimoto don't lose, man. Like, this is not a wrestler who loses. This is a wrestler who competes. This is a wrestler who wins. She only knows winning. So I'm fascinated to see how this ends. I think there is belief in, or let me rephrase. I think there is a plus in either one winning. There's a plus in Micah winning because then you can work the story back to Sendai Girls. She can drop the title to Chihiro Hashimoto at a Sendai Girls Corkin or some version of their big shows. I think that's possible. I think that's a reality worth considering. Or Hashimoto just wins because I do think Meiko Satomore's team will be losing on this show. And I think that's probably the best road to go. Rather than playing hot potato again with the Sendai Girls World Championship, which we saw between Syuri Ano and Mika Iwata last year, I think the best direction is Hashimoto to win and become the bump in the road for Micah and a second bump in the road for Micah. People forget Micah lost to Natsuko Tora at Stardom Dream Week. Losing Chihiro Hashimoto is a great bump in the road as she tries to get back to the World of Stardom Championship. I'm excited for this match. Everyone should be excited for this match. Like I said, it has a chance to steal the show. Speaking of matches that have a chance to steal the show, it's FWC challenging for the Goddesses of Stardom Championships against FWC. This match has completely changed since it was announced. And when I say completely changed, I mean it's gone personal. It's gone emotional. It's gone so much deeper than I think anyone expected when they picked FWC as their challengers. As I talked about on the podcast a few weeks ago, that press conference was as real as it gets. Right? You felt that watching. You felt the emotion of these wrestlers. You saw Hanan cry real tears. You saw Koguma cry real tears. This match went from, oh, this should be a great tag. It's stars versus stars. Can't beat it, right? To the two best tag teams in this company. Plain and simple, right? That's the way you looked at it. And then they had that press conference. And it went from here to here, right? It changed the way you look at this match. It has every possibility to be the match of the year. I can't stress that enough. At least the tag team match of the year. Like, this is something that I truly believe in because these four wrestlers are special. They make tag team wrestling great. The best tag team wrestling is when you have two teams like this that work so well with each other. This has every part of my excitement. I look back to the Wing Gory Crazy Star tag. That was just one of the best matches of the year, right? Right from Path of Thunder. It was awesome. Tremendous, tremendous stuff. This can be above that. This can be above that. I think this starts a run. The final four matches are truly potentially the best final four matches in a row we've ever seen from Stardom. That is the potential starting with this match. The work or animosity that will carry Hanan and Hazuki, especially in this match, will be fascinating to watch, right? These are two people who have been in the same faction for years. And when Hazuki joined, Hanam was still a kid, right? Hanam was still a kid, and she's grown watching Hazuki and learning from Hazuki to the point where now she is grown. She is very clearly a future star in this company. And she is showing that she is ready for change. We are watching potentially the implosion of stars within this very match. This is it. Stars is not continuing the way it's been after this. It's just not. It's just not. And I think that's what makes this match all the more emotional, what makes this match all the more interesting, intriguing, whatever adjective you want to use to describe this match, it probably fits. This has all the potential to not only be special, but be a moment in time for these two tag teams and for this faction. Stars has mostly been the same since Momo Kogo joined in 2022. The only change was Victoria Yuzuki for a few months. Not even a few months, like maybe of 2 months at best last year. Other than that, they have not added, they have not subtracted. It's been the same 6 wrestlers: Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, Koguma, Hanan, Saida, Momokogo. It has been those 6. It's shocking we've made it this far without change. It's shocking we've made it this far without any animosity. It's been brewing for months, and now it all happens here. If there's a match that you as a viewer are looking forward to beyond the top 3, because the top 3 speak for themselves, it should be this one. I know Micah and Hash is very exciting. I know Mako Satamore's final match is very exciting in Stardom. I know Hoda and Reena is exciting. I know Mera and Suzu is exciting. Listen, the future Stardom title match is exciting, but it's this one. This has the most potential. That being said, depending how real this animosity and this seemingly hatred truly is, it could go off the rails. But these are professionals. These 4 are professionals. I don't see that happening. I see them putting on their working boots and having one of the best tag team matches of the year at minimum. And I can't wait. In terms of who wins this match, in terms of who makes the most sense to win this match, I'm going to go with Wingori. And the thought process here is in 2 ways. I think FWC winning and earning their 4th, it would be their, I believe it's their 4th title reign. If they were to win that, it'd be incredible. Incredible moment. And they could defend in Fukuoka over Golden Week, all these things. But for me, I also think there is the potential here to keep Wingori going because they've revived these tag belts. It would feel wrong to take them off of them just now. There's also the possibility of Suzuki being Starlight Kid's next big opponent. But if not, Hanan instantly, I think, if Wingori loses, Hanan should be going into the world title program. She should be a world title challenger for Saya Kamitani. That is the conversation we are having here. Those are the possibilities here. But I'm gonna go with Wingori. If they want a title change on this show, I think it's gonna be in the next match. Confidently going to say it's gonna be in the next match. And that, of course, is the other big time member of Stars. That's, of course, the leader, the forever leader, the longest running leader in this company. And that, of course, is Mayu Iwatani. Mayu Iwatani defends the IWGP Women's Championship against Syuri. I don't need to sit here and tell you how great this match is going to be. You've seen it within the past 16 months, right? January 4th, 2024. Mayu Iwatani and Syuri put on one of, if not the best match of the year last year. They went out there to prove a point. As I talked about in my Check It Out review of that exact match. They went out there to prove a point. They went out there to show why they deserve to be on Wrestle Kingdom. This is different though. This is a 2-year title reign for Mayu Iwatani. The day one 14-year veteran, the face, the icon of Stardom, putting up her belt against Syuri, the wrestler who helped put Stardom on the map more than ever with her matches with Utami Hayashishita and her eventual World of Stardom title reign in 2022. This is a main event in any arena. This is a worthy main event on any show. This is the third match to the top of the card. And there's a lot that goes around this match. There's a lot that's following this match that honestly has nothing to do with these two wrestling each other. It's the outside looking in. On one hand, you have Syuri, who has guaranteed to Tokyo Sports she will be in the building for this match. Syuri is already beside herself that she didn't get to challenge Syuri first. I mean, she didn't get to challenge Mayu Iwatani first. She didn't get that rematch before Syuri did. The story there is simple. Syuri has a chance to really, really upset Syuri because Syuri has wanted to be the one to take the belt off of Mayu Iwatani since she failed at All-Star Grand Queendom last year. That has been her story. That has been what's pushing her. She said it in interview after interview that she wants to be the one to take the IWGP Women's title off of Mayu. Syuri is in the spoiler position, the spoiler role. She can flip this on its head. And for me, I think that's exactly what's happening. It becomes a fascinating story to further what Syuri and Syuri have already started at the last Syuriism when they went to a 30-minute draw. They created something special. They created intrigue. They created excitement. They created the potential for a rivalry that can define 2025. And I think that's why we're going, because Mayu Iwatani has not in any way, shape, or form paid attention to the Syuri stuff, talked about the Syuri stuff. She's not really done much of anything this year outside of the Azumi match. Yes, Eye Contact had the tag title match, but other than that, nothing. I sit here and I think to myself, what happens? And that, of course, is with Mayu Iwatani. I get. I'm very careful when it comes to Mayu because this is my goat. When I say that, I mean that. This is my favorite wrestler of all time. This is someone that I fully believe in that makes wrestling better. She has put Stardom on her back for 14 years. She is one of the sole reasons this company is where it is today, right? She so many times had to be that ace when people left. She so many times had to be the one leaned on when people left. She always has carried Stardom. She has always been the one. She is Stardom. And without Mayu Iwatani, and I said this last year and I'll say it again, Stardom isn't Stardom. There's been very little, obviously, on that front to hint one way or the other. But if you follow what Mayu has done since the summer of really pushing her and because of the movie, it's been a whole lot of nothing. And I had said in the lead up to Wrestle Kingdom, having Azumi get that moment in the Tokyo Dome made a lot of sense. Now, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. They had a great match, but they didn't do it. I sit here and, I ponder and I think, what world do we live in post Queendom? I still, and I've said this, I do think this is it, right? Maybe not immediately, but I think so. I have not talked about this much, but I'm going to talk about it now. I think her losing the title is a sign of that, because I do think this is when the title is dropped. She's held it for over 2 years now. An incredible reign. An incredible reign. Mayu has single-handedly done everything in her power to make this title mean something. Even if the company that this belt technically belongs to, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling, doesn't care about this belt. She has had this championship for 730 plus days. And she has defended this on 2 New Japan shows. I'm not counting Historic Crossover. And I'm not counting New Japan Strong. New Japan Strong is not a true New Japan show. She's defended on the New Beginning Sapporo in 2024 and Wrestle Kingdom 19. Mayu Iwatani did everything and has done everything in her power to raise up the prestige of the IWGP Women's title. Beat Mercedes Moné to win the belt. Defended against Utami Hayashishita. Defended against Stephanie Vaquer. Defended against Syuri. Defended against Mina Shirakawa. Defended against Syuri. Defended against Tsukasa Fujimoto. Defended against Toni Storm. Defended against Momo Watanabe. And defended against Azumi. That is a who's who of professional wrestling from around the world. That is two AEW wrestlers. It's one WWE wrestler. It's an ice ribbon wrestler. It's Syuri, the reigning pro wrestling women's MVP of Tokyo Sports. It's Momo Watanabe, her longtime rival. It's Azumi, someone that has always judged herself via Mayu. It's Mina Shirakawa. Oh, sorry, it's 3 AEW wrestlers. I apologize. Mina's an AEW now. It's Syuri. It's Utami. It's the who's who. She has used this title. She has elevated this title. And she has had a prestigious reign with it. She's done everything. She's losing this belt to Syuri. It's time. It's been time. Syuri deserves. Sure, and I could talk about Mayu always, and I feel like I'm going to be talking about Mayu a lot. I'm going to talk about Syuri here. Syuri has been on the sidelines for 2 years now. Pretty much since All-Star Grand Queendom 2023, she has done nothing. She had the match with Chihiro Hashimoto, and she's pretty much done nothing. Syuri, at that time, was considerably considered the best in the world. And she's done nothing. It's time she does something. It's time she has gold around her waist. That IWGP Women's Championship should be hers. I have felt that way, mind you, since Mayu won the freaking belt. I said, you know who makes a lot of sense as the first big-time challenger in a New Japan show? I said Syuri at Dominion 2023 made sense. It always made sense. She makes all the freaking sense. This match is going to be stellar. And whether it is the final match of Mayu Iwatani's career in Stardom or one of the final matches, whatever it may be, they're going to go all out. This is going to be incredible. They don't have an off switch. These two, at their minimum, are better than the rest. Plain and simple. Listen, you may be listening to me. You may be super fans of whoever. That is fine. But when Mayu and Syuri are at the top of their game, I don't know if there's really anyone besides Syuri better or at that level. That's just what these two are. I can't wait for this match. I am picking Syuri to win. It's time. It's time. And whatever the future holds, make sure you're on this YouTube channel because I will be covering it in full no matter what. I can't wait for this. It's going to be phenomenal. And then we have the Eternal Foes, Wonder of Stardom Championship and the leadership of Neo Genesis. You have Starlight Kid versus Azumi. This is the perfect Wonder of Stardom championship match for this show. It's perfect. It's perfect. When the card was being made, for me, the two options, once the Cinderella, what became the rookie Cinderella or the young, whatever you want to call it, Azumi and Hazuki felt like the locks going into that before I even thought it. I was like, oh, they could be the Cinderella winners. Once that was the team, I was like, I'm not changing from this. The Cinderella winner is not going to be challenging at this show. Azumi or Hazuki. There is history there to make this make sense, to make this work. Starlight Kid has had an incredible start to her year. She has proven that she should be the new top babyface of Stardom once Tam Nakano's gone. I don't think that's up for debate. She's always had it in her. And now she faces her greatest rival, her number one rival, Azumi, at the biggest stage they've ever wrestled on together. These are two wrestlers who grew up together, right? Starlight Kid has been in this company forever. Azumi has been in this company since she was 11 years old. Mind you, she is now 22. These two have been here forever. Starlight Kid's been here since 2015. They are now standing side by side as part of Neo Genesis. Something that means a lot to them, but that doesn't mean they're no longer eternal foes. They're always trying to get one step ahead of the other. And this is a case of exactly that. With the Wonder of Stardom Championship on the line, it is about getting one step in front of the other. Because leadership is also on the line. Their Cinderella Journey match in 2022 is one of the great Stardom matches. I would argue it is the best high-speed title match in Stardom's history. It's fantastic. It's incredible. It's truly special. It's everything that this company should be about moving forward. It's everything you want these two to be about moving forward. Starlight Kid and Azumi have been projected as the future of this company for years. Now they are the present. Now they are stepping into the number 2 spot on the biggest show in Stardom history. And now they're going to show the world why they are the present and future of this company and of this sport. These two have special chemistry together and apart. And for Stardom, this is about pushing the future while potentially saying bye to the history on this very show. I talk about it with Mayu and we'll talk about it with Tam. Starlight Kid and Azumi are the future of this company. Starlight Kid is the future top babyface of this company with Saya Kamitani being the top heel. This is going to be a triumphant moment for Starlight Kid. I fully believe that. And I believe that because leadership is on the line for Neo Genesis. This faction was made for Starlight Kid. It's hers. It's hers. It has to be hers. It's going to be hers. I'm so excited to see this match. I know they're going to do everything in their power to steal the show. Now they're in the toughest position. They are shoehorned between the IWGP Women's title and the World of Stardom title. That is not an easy position. It is the same position that the IWGP Women's title was in last All-Star Grand Queendom, where all the belts were on the line. And there was a record crowd, and that was 2023, right? People weren't as enthused by Mercedes Moné versus Mayu Iwatani, maybe as much as I was. And I think a big part of that is because of being shoehorned in the middle of the incredible moment by Mina Shirakawa, and of course, the World of Stardom title match between Julia and Tam Nakano. I take that into full consideration, and I do believe that is a big reason as to why people look at that match that way. But the beauty for Azumi and Kid here is that they bring an entirely different style. My confidence is through the roof because of what Starlight Kid has done this year already as champion. Like I said, her match with Reena was incredible. That is my match of the year. Her match with Konami, I think, is underrated. Now she has defense number 3. She's healed up, and she's ready to go against her eternal foe. And she is going to successfully defend this championship. This title has needed a run that she is on right now, dating back to 2023. And I think Stardom would be silly, would be foolish to end that now. I know Azumi will have her time. She's going to have her time. There's a reason that it's very apparent they believe in her. But it can't happen now. It cannot happen on this show. She can go fight for the New Japan Strong Women's title in May. But right now, it's Starlight Kid's time. It is Starlight Kid's time, and I don't want that coming to end anytime soon, or I don't want that to end to anyone not named Suzuki or Reena at this stage of the game. So there are my thoughts on that. I look forward to seeing what this match ultimately turns into. But of course, we have one more match to talk about, and that, of course, is your main event of the evening. That is Saya Kamitani versus Tam. Career versus career World of Stardom Championship. It doesn't get bigger than this. This is a storied rivalry. This is a match that has, in every which way, been built and built and built and built. You get the picture. For them, it dates back to when Saya Kamitani broke into the company. For them, it dates back to when Saya Kamitani first started to sniff the main event. And it dates back to their 2 Wonder Stardom title matches. It was a fail the first time, but she succeeded the second time, Saya Kamitani beating Tam Nakano to win the title. And ultimately from there, going on to become one of, if not the greatest Wonder of Stardom champions of all time. We do know she held all the records, right? That reign accomplished exactly what it set out to accomplish. She broke Momo Watanabe's defense record. Fast forward to 2023. 2023 was supposed to be her next crowning moment, her being Saya Kamitani. They faced off on the opening night of the 5-Star Grand Prix. At the time in the main event, Tam Nakano was the World of Stardom champion. Saya Kamitani was trying to get back to the top of the mountain following the Queen's Quest story. And she got injured. And that was the start of, some may call the downfall of Saya Kamitani. As she references it, it's just when everything changed. It's when Saya Kamitani started to become what she is now. And what Saya Kamitani is now is arguably the biggest Joshi star in all of wrestling. She has become a superstar, and it dates back to that match. Saya Kamitani went through so many different things from that point. She had to rehab, rehabilitate, refine herself as a wrestler, right? When she came back, she didn't seem right for a couple months there. She had Utami by her side until she didn't, right? Utami leaves for Marigold. She had Queen's Quest by her side until she didn't. She failed to protect them, and she watched them disappear. And that's when the flip switch, she joins Hate, and the rest is history, right? While Saya Kamitani comes up short in the 5-star Grand Prix final, she does get her wish and challenges Tam Nakano at Stardom Dream Queendom 2024. The rivalry renewed. And she uses Tam's emotions to beat her on that very night to cheat and steal the World of Stardom Championship. Since then, it has been a absolute skyrocketing moment for Saya Kamitani to a point where she cannot be stopped. She cannot be overlooked. She has become the undeniable. But Tam cannot let it go. Tam has not let it go. Tam Nakano has still been locked in on that match and this rivalry since that moment. That moment was 4 months ago. Tam hasn't moved on. Saya Kamitani tried. She did. But Tam came right back around. Saya Kamitani has only defended this championship one time, and that was against Suzuki. Boy, how the times changed. Suzuki is no longer in Neo Genesis, right? So much has happened since that defense. Tam defends Sayaka Carrara and makes sure she doesn't have to go to Hate. And from there, she offers Saya Kamitani a loser leaves Stardom match for Cork and Hall just a week later. On a week notice. Once again, Saya Kamitani cheats to send Tam Nakano out of Stardom. A shocker, a stunner. Truly, truly, truly out of nowhere. And it was from there that while the story got complicated, the direction became clear. Career versus career, Saya Kamitani versus Tam Nakano. That is what it's all about. That is the match. And that brings us to Sunday. Tam Nakano has been one of the biggest stars in Stardom's history. Whether you love her or hate her, that is the truth. Cosmic Angels became super popular, right? Everything revolving around Tam became huge. Tam has main evented the majority of Stardom's biggest events since Bushiroad took over. She main evented All-Star Dream Cinderella in 2021. She main evented All-Star Grand Queendom 2023, the biggest attended show in the company's history. And she main evented Stardom Dream Queendom at the end of last year, Ryogoku Sumo Hall. And now she steps into the ring in another major main event, once again against Saya Kamitani at one of these major shows with championship gold on the line. The unfortunate part, I'd argue, is that the belt almost doesn't matter compared to what this rivalry has become. And that is also a credit to what they've created within this rivalry. This rivalry is special. This rivalry is complicated. This rivalry is a lot. You know, it's everything. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's up, it's down, it's left, it's right. It's Tam lore at its finest, for the better or for the worse. But no matter what, there is a reality where we are without one of these two wrestlers, not only in Stardom, but in wrestling after Sunday. And that wrestler that very likely should be leaving or retiring, per se, is Tam Nakano. You can't imagine a world where Saya Kamitani goes anywhere, right? You followed, if you have watched the house shows, if you've watched Tam's journey since Career versus Career was announced, it became very apparent we are on a retirement road, right? single match with Sayoriano, the final Cosmic Angels dance, fighting the likes of Aja Kong and doing these different dates and all these different things. Saya Kamitani has stayed true. Saya Kamitani is still the reigning Regina DeWave champion, right? There's so many things working at hand here that have to make you believe this is it for Tam Nakano. Now, I believe it's it for Tam Nakano. With or without Sayaka Kurara's wish. Let's talk about that. For those who don't know, if you're tuning into this, you found it, you wanted to learn more about this big time Stardom show, you don't really know what's going on. Let me explain what the wish is. Sayaka Kurara won the Cinderella tournament. When you win the Cinderella tournament, you don't necessarily get a title shot, you get a wish. And as far as I am concerned, the wish has never ever been classified as just a title shot. So as Kurara holds the wish, which she has not used yet, she's actually pretty much forgotten about it. Or at least we have, viewing wise. If she holds the wish, you have to believe it comes into play when this match is all over. And I firmly believe that Sayaka Kurara is going to try and use the wish on Tam Nakano. She's going to try to use the wish to make sure she doesn't retire. The problem there is one, I don't think Stardom is going to pull the rug out from another situation, right? They did it with the loser leaves Stardom match. Tam Nakano is technically a freelancer, at least in storyline. Now, I don't see a world where they do that twice. I don't think they're going to do that twice. And maybe that's silly me. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But I do believe that this is the end for Tam Nakano. At least for now. Joshi is Joshi. People come back. Saya Kamitani said if she retires, she's not coming back. Tam Nakano has said the same. Tam Nakano made it very ultimate at the press conference. She said, Taro, no matter what, this is it. No ceremony, no final match, no retirement road, nothing. If I lose, or if someone loses, whoever loses, they're done. And that's the reason I think Kurara's wish does not come into play. And this is indeed the end of Tam Nakano's career. It's going to be emotional. Listen. Retirements are emotional. A retirement like this is very fitting of how Tam would go out. She has put everything into this story. She's put everything into making Saya Kamitani the ultimate. So to have Saya Kamitani end the career of Tam Nakano, and I'm sure they'll have a moment, right? Saya is an emotional wrestler. She does really good at the gimmick, but she gets emotional. She cries. We know this. We're gonna see this. We're gonna watch this, and I think this is gonna be as emotional of an end as possible. How good will the match be? I think it'll be great. Their match for the loser leaves Stardom match that was incredible. Um, it's almost hard to really focus on the match when I do think Tam's retiring, and I will say this: I do plan to cover Tam's career in some sort of way if she does retire after this. But for now, we treat it as such. We treat it as now, and right now it is career versus career. We treat it as that, and I do think someone's career comes to an end, and I think that is Tam Nakano. And I think that is why All Star Grand Queendom 2025 will go down as the end of an era in Stardom. No more Tam. Oh, that alone is monumental. It is. It is. It's monumental. It's gigantic. It's notable. It's everything. And I'm fascinated to see how it all plays out. Part of the excitement for the show for me isn't just the show itself. it is the aftermath of said show, because Stardom's going to look different. And directions will have to be made. Main eventers will have to be established, right? We've had pretty much the same main event scene since the end of last year. It's been Micah, Natsuko, Tam, Suzu, and Saya Kamitani. And Natsuko, for the most part, out. So it's really been 4. You take Tam away, that's 3. We're going to have to establish more. We're going to have to do more. We're going to have to tell more stories. We're going to find our next story if you're Stardom. It'll be very fascinating to see where that is. If Tam loses, we will talk about it in full. Like I said, this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, I will be over on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. I will be reviewing the show live. I will have guests join me. I will also be clipping parts of that show and putting it on this YouTube channel. So I will be clipping probably my thoughts on Tam versus Saya Kamitani. I'll also be clipping other different things from that show. So just to keep an eye out on that, we'll make sure everything, I'll be posting all about it so you will not miss a beat. But thank you everyone for listening to this preview. If you are listening to this on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're listening to this on podcast, thank you so much. If you're listening to this on video or not, I please ask you to press like, leave a comment. What match are you most looking forward to? What match are you least looking forward to? What do you think will be the result of the main event? There are so many different things on the line here for this show. There are so many different things that can happen on this show. And like I've been saying, if you listen to the 5 Star Joshi Show every Friday, it's the end of an era. These 2 months are massive in the world of Joshi. And this show is essentially the peak of it. Losing Tam Nakano potentially and Mako Satomura within a 3-day span is a lot. It's a lot for the scene. But we'll talk about, we'll respect both of them in the coming weeks, so on. But that is your All-Star Grand Queendom 2025 review. Join me on Sunday preview. Join me on Sunday for the review. I'm really looking forward to that. It's always a great time doing the live review right after the show. Like I said, 2 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss it. But thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope I could give you all the information you need for this show, all the excitement you need for this show. If I were to ask me out of 10 how excited I am a full 10. This is as exciting as it gets. This is as exciting as it gets, I think. So I cannot wait for the show. I cannot wait for the aftermath. I can't wait for it all. So until then, thank you for listening. We'll be back on Sunday, and we'll be covering the world of Joshi each and every week right here as well on the YouTube channel. So long, everybody. Enjoy the show.